Okay, so before we begin this week's episode of Car Con Carne, I want to start with some poetry. I have Seth Zurer, co-founder of Baconfest, in the car today.
How do you do?
And as part of Baconfest, there is a contest every year for bacon poetry, best bacon poems.
Yeah, this is actually a scaling back of our original vision for the cultural portion of Baconfest, which was going to be a theater festival, a poetry slam, and then visual arts. That's kind of, we thought, okay, we'll focus on the restaurants, but then we'll also have a little bacon poetry contest just for fun.
So before we officially begin the show, before we play the theme music, I thought I would read the best bacon poems of the year. This is really exciting.
Oh, hey.
And this really kind of adds a bit of needed culture to the show.
Yeah, a lot of times people need a little highbrow something to get them going.
All right, so the first poem is by Joseph S. Pete, Baconmandius.
Baconmandius, King of Kings, inspired by Ozymandias.
Baconmandius, King of Kings. My name is Baconmandius, King of Kings. Listen to my sizzle, ye mighty, and hunger. I met a baconaut from a delicious land who said, 4 crisp and meaty strips of bacon, fry on the pan. Near them, in my hand, half clenched, is a spatula, whose grease and liquefied drippings show bacon's savory command, and tell that its eater knows this passion well, which burns like cured pork belly on the stovetop. Lo, turkey bacon is a special kind of hell. Bacon deserves a pedestal where these words appear. My name is Baconmandius, King of Kings. Listen to my sizzle, ye mighty, and hunger. Nothing on the plate remains. Round the bacony kiss of briny, flavorful fat from the rasher, bacon's salty embrace is something you miss. Yes, sir.
Snap, hang on. Nice.
That is something. That is Joseph S. Pete.
That's the classical poetry, and then we have a little bit more modern poetry coming up next.
This is from David Kurtz, another winner of the Baconfest poetry competition. If it weren't for bacon.
It's a true story from the heart.
Of course. If it weren't for bacon, I would be... It's pouring outside. Can you hear that? Can you hear the rain hitting the car as I do this? If it weren't for bacon, I would be broken alone, sad, starved, destitute with no wife and no home. As a young Jewish boy forbade to eat pork, I knew not of the splendor amiss from my fork. I knew not of the salty, the smoky and sweet, the heaven-sent crispy, tender slices of meat, until a girl with a smile and a penchant for swine had me over for lunch and blew my damn mind. She said, I'll make you a sandwich, and I'll make it for free. It's a favorite of mine. It's called a BLT. A free lunch for a Jew. This I could not resist, so I patiently waited as her frying pan lit. I had no view of the kitchen, but a sound caught my ear, a sizzle like none heard in my then 15 years. Seconds went by, and the air filled with desire. The aroma was haunting, like a tabernacle choir. What is that smell? I asked, with my throat getting hoarse. She gleefully grinned. That's the bacon, of course. Bacon, oh no. Should I tell her I'm kosher? Too late. The bread just popped from the toaster. One sandwich, surely God won't punish me for. But upon my first bite, I knew I would need more. You see, that was the day I renounced my religion and shacked up with that girl for her bacon's precision. Now we are married and eat bacon every day, with only cholesterol blocking my way. And my arteries. Hashtag worth it. Now we can begin the show.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James VanOsdol.
It is the world's only food podcast recorded in a car. God bless it, that car is my Mazda 3. I'm James VanOsdol, and my guest this week is Seth Zurer, who is a co-founder of the lauded, honorable Baconfest.
That is me, and that is my Baconfest. Thanks for having me in the car.
Sure. You know, I think the last time I said goodbye to you, I said something along the lines of, thank you for doing God's work.
It is God's work, and it's my gift to the city of Chicago for everything that Chicago has brought to me.
So now, for someone who, let's say someone hasn't heard of Baconfest, if they're hearing about this for the first time, they're thinking, holy crap, Baconfest is a real thing.
It's real. It's real, Virginia. Yeah, it's amazing. Imagine, if you will, a large room. The room is, 23,000 square feet, and in that room there are 90 stations, and each station has a chef from a great Chicago restaurant who has made something delicious for you with bacon, and he wants you to eat it, and staring at you and holding out their dish in front of them and saying, hey, try my delicious bacon dish. And then next to the chefs, there's beers, there's cocktails, there's wine. There is a remarkable array of creative and delightful dishes, all there for the taking. So you buy your ticket, you go in, and it's like a bacon wonderland. Everywhere you look,
so you
somebody
can
wants
sample
you to
something
eat something
from all those places?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's unlimited bacon dishes. At each session, there's maybe 50 or 60 restaurants.
It's mind-blowing. I mean, this is the best of Chicago,
Absolutely.
making special bacon dishes. So each person can walk by, each attendee can walk by and grab something from Kuma's or
Slurping Turtle, so Takashi Yagiyashi, or Paul Verant's restaurant, or Perennial Verant. I mean, these are some of the best chefs in the city that have decided to turn their creative energies towards celebrating bacon in all of its many splendored forms.
Well, first of all, I should mention where we are. We're at Pearl's on Broadway.
Yes, Pearl's
in the
Southern
Edgewater neighborhood. Definitely like that Southern New Orleans style cooking. They are letting us sample what they're making for Baconfest, and tell us what this is.
So they basically are doing a kind of funny take on a pimento cheese on a cracker, but instead of a cracker,
that's obviously a Southern thing. I mean, up here in Chicago, I don't think
people might not know, but that's like a classic Southern snack is a soft, creamy pimento cheese with hot chili peppers in it, and like sharp cheddar and sour cream, and you spread it on Ritz crackers. But instead of Ritz crackers, they've replaced the cracker with a homemade chicharrones with pork rinds.
Oh my God!
And then
that's exactly what it is. That's a pork rind.
That's a pork rind, and then it's
sweet
filled
Christmas.
with this creamy pimento cheese, to which they've also added chunks of bacon. There's house-made pickles on top, and then a beautiful little slab of Nuski's Applewood smoked bacon.
Oh,
and I think they're going to also add some Tasso powder on top as well to give it a little kick at Baconfest, but they didn't have any Tasso ham powder made yet.
If that was the only thing you could sample at Baconfest, that might be enough.
I mean, it might be enough for you. It's not enough for me.
Right,
it's never enough for me.
I'm going to grab one as we're talking about this.
Yeah, let's do this.
So it is a pork rind, and it's loaded. It is a densely layered pork rind.
That's right. And it's a beautiful little bite. I mean, the thing is, there are, at Baconfest, over the course of the 3 sessions, there will be 8,000 pounds of Nuski's bacon. Each restaurant gets basically an allowance of 50 pounds, and then they turn it into something. So, but if you want to go to Baconfest and try all this stuff, you really have to be judicious about your pace.
I bet.
And these guys help by giving you something that's maybe 1 or 2 bites at most. I'm going to take a bite.
Oh, this is kind of a big deal. You know what it is? It's the balance of flavors, but also those textures. The crispy pork rind and just the smoothness of the cheese and the crispness of the pickle. Oh, man.
And you know what? The thing which always amazes me is they say, oh, everything's bacon. I'm going to get tired of tasting bacon. First of all, it's a ludicrous proposition. Second of all,
shut up.
Second of all, shut up. Third of all, a dish like this shows you exactly the kind of variety you can expect, because this is not overwhelmingly bacony, right? You have a little bacon chunk. You have some bacon mixed in with the cheese, but really what you're getting is pickle, tart, savory, bacony, all together.
This is delicious.
A symphony of bacony flavors.
If I were Pearls, I'd be putting this on the menu tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
This is, oh my God. This is great. I want this as a sandwich or something, like a pork rind sandwich. This is delicious.
I like that too.
Here, you can use the table, which is to say the dashboard.
Oh yeah, right. Thank you. Very kind of you. And then, so I'm going to eat several more of these tonight, and then I'm going to eat some more at Baconfest next week.
Oh man, that is so good, Seth.
I don't mess around. The chefs really put their thinking caps on. Part of it, I think, is that they're eager. They're very competitive. So we give
there's a one-upsmanship.
There is a one-upmanship. We give out prizes. We give out what we call the Golden Rasher Awards. A rasher, of course, being a slice of bacon. And we give it out for most creative use of bacon. You just took a sip of the bourbon milk punch.
That's bourbon. Yeah.
It's in a deceptively innocuous cartoon character.
It's not punch.
Cup.
It's bourbon.
Oh, solid. I'm going to give it a little swirl.
It's not punch. Wow. All right, so
it's like a White Russian, but with bourbon.
Which is exactly what you want to have as you're sitting on a Chicago public street.
Right.
The lights on, microphones going.
What the chef from Pearls told us is that this is actually what you should be drinking in the morning after a night out of reveling in New Orleans. This is like the hair of the dog to ease you back into the day. It's a gentle milk punch to help you face what hangover may be.
That makes sense. All right, so tell me about the origin of Baconfest.
Yeah. So me and my two partners are not event people, and I'm the sort of foodie one of the three of us more than the other two. But basically, we're all theater guys. So the two of them went to see a rock and roll puppet musical all about beer that featured, among other things, a puppet puddle of vomit that sang a song about how corporate beer had created it. And they were deeply inspired by this artistic work, so much so that they went home and they got drunk. And being musicians and theater guys, they thought to themselves, we should write a musical about something that we love. And what do we love as much as those guys love beer? The answer is bacon.
Sure.
So they started writing songs. They got really bored. And then that's where I come into the story. They called me. It was about 11:30 at night. I was in bed with my pregnant wife, unemployed, sort of pondering the general existential angst of not knowing what I was going to do with myself for the next 40 years of my life.
Been there.
And I got a call, and I was like, why are they calling me at 11:30 at night? First of all, we're friends, but not that good friends that you would call at 11:30. I thought something was wrong. And they get on the line, and my partner Andre says, Seth, I have an amazing idea for you. I don't know if you're going to like it, but here's our idea. Just listen to what I'm going to say and then react. Baconfest Chicago, the Burning Man of bacon.
That's the elevator pitch.
That's the elevator pitch.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was a little confused. I wondered about art cars. I wondered about gratuitous nudity. I wondered about hallucinogens. And then he set me straight. No, it's like Taste of Chicago, but everything is going to be bacon. And it's going to be something that people come back to every year. It's going to be an annual institution.
Taste of Chicago, but everything's bacon.
Exactly. And I was sold. I was sold at that very moment. We slept on it the next morning in the cold light of day. We sipped a bourbon milk punch. Mm-hmm. And we got a Twitter handle, and we got a Facebook page, and we just started reaching out to folks. And we found a deep well of affection for bacon in Chicago, both among the chef community and among just sort of the community at large. We did our first event that year with 75 guests and 10 chefs. We took over the dining room of the Publican between lunch and dinner service. We had to push all the tables up to the side. And it was a big hit. People liked it. We liked it. We had fun. And then it just has grown a lot since then. This year we'll have 168 restaurants, 8,000 pounds of Newski's bacon. We'll have gallons and gallons and gallons of beer and cocktails and wine. It got big while we weren't paying attention, but it's fun.
So the dates of this are April 30th and May 1st.
That's correct.
So there's a chance people may hear this podcast after it happened, but there's also a strong chance people hear it in advance. So they can go.
They can go. There are tickets available at the time of taping. There are tickets available to all 3 sessions of Baconfest. So people can go to baconfestchicago.com and snag those tickets. The tickets cost $100. I'll be straight up with you. General admission tickets are $100, but what you get with that $100 ticket is unlimited dishes from those chefs. Stuff like this pimento cheese, chicharrone.
So I can keep going back in line for this.
Yeah, you can go to this over and over again, but I think what you want to do is you want to kind of work your way around the room. Try the bacon togarashi ramen. Try the bacon watermelon gazpacho. Ooh. Try the warm bacon cinnamon rolls. Try a few bacon cupcakes. There's a lot of stuff to try.
The gazpacho sounds good.
I know. That's from Marion Street Market out in Oak Park. There's a lot of stuff. You get unlimited food. You get 7 drink tickets, which usually, depending on your alcohol consumption, is more than enough.
That seems fair. Yeah.
You get a delightful Baconfest tote bag, sure to make you the envy of every farmer's market shopper.
That's right.
And you also get to support the Greater Chicago Food Depository. So one thing that's nice. It's given us an opportunity to support this anti-hunger cause in Chicago.
It's a great organization.
And so last year we gave them $75,000.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love everything about this story.
And so, it started as a late-night drunken fantasy and became a bona fide annual festival institution that helps feed hungry people and helps hungry people pig out.
Well, and see, the thing that I wonder about this, I've always had this perception that chefs barely have enough time in their days just to get out of bed. I mean, once they're in the kitchen, it is nonstop from from before it opens till when the restaurant closes. The fact that they have time to kind of invent and create and commit to this seems like kind of a big deal.
It is. It's a huge deal. I mean, the chefs are the entertainment at Baconfest. The food is the entertainment, and the fact that they come out to help, number one, to help support the food bank, and number two, they come out because they're curious, just like you and me, about what the other chefs are going to do with bacon. They all spend the VIP hour sending their minions out to fetch tastes from their favorite restaurants.
Sure.
Just like we do when we show up at Baconfest. And then I think the other thing is that it's, like you said, they barely have time to do anything in their lives except for get up, go to the kitchen, crank out a 14-hour shift, and then go to bed. It's a treat to actually see your customers face to face, to connect with them, to talk to them, to say,
true.
hey, this pimento cheese is inspired by my grandmother's recipe, and this bacon ramen is just like the one I used to have at home in Hokkaido, except for I added, 14 pounds of bacon to each 3-pound serving of noodles. So it's fun for them too.
So let's talk about some of the things that people you hinted toward them. I was looking at the menu.
Yeah.
The one that stuck out is, okay, maybe this is too much, is the kuma's contribution.
I believe the name of the kuma's dish is the Kuma's Oralgasm 666. And if I recall correctly, it features, among other things, a slab of braised pork belly on a biscuit, and I think it's topped with some kind of sauce. I can't remember the details of the sauce.
But it was like super bacon overload.
Yeah, it was like bacon in the bread, bacon in the bacon, bacon in the sauce, bacon on the plate, bacon wrapped around everything. I think the pimento cheese on a chicharron, that's sort of the gentle bacon.
Yeah, it's more
entree.
subtle.
And then the Kuma's Oralgasm is going to be I'm going to take a slab of bacon and I'm going to slap you over the head with it.
Yeah, I don't think delicate when I think kuma's.
No, exactly. I think metal. This is a metal bacon dish.
It's going to metal bacon.
Make you think about sort of society.
And the devil.
And the devil, right.
And
exactly.
sex.
Naturally. I think you can't help but think about sex when you think about a delicious bacon sandwich.
All right, so what other things kind of have your attention that make you think, okay, I got to make a point to kind of go over there?
Yeah, we mentioned that watermelon pork belly gazpacho. I'm super excited to see what Sandra Hall from Florial is doing. She's doing something called Mad Bacon, which I think is like a pastry. So she does these incredibly beautiful traditional French pastries. She's going to turn her attention to bacon. I'm excited about Takashi's bacon ramen. I like a little bacon ramen. I love ramen. Last year he won a Golden Rasher for his dish, which was a traditional Japanese egg custard called a chawamushi. But then he threw the tradition out the window and added bacon to everything. So there's bacon fat in the egg custard. There's bacon chunks. There's like a slick of bacon grease on the top. Then fava beans and asparagus and all these nice tastes of spring, some scallions. It was a killer dish. Delightful.
That's amazing. All right, so there's a lunch and a dinner service on Saturday, and then Sunday's brunch.
Sunday brunch. Brunch is new this year. So in previous years we had a Friday night dinner session, but we thought, people first fell in love with bacon at brunch, so let's bring it on home. Let's bring it on home to brunch. So we're doing. It's not going to be all brunch dishes. There's still going to be the variety of stuff, but it's going to be at brunch time, and we're going to have a Bloody Mary bar with 4 different kinds of Bloody Marys with bacon garnishes for people to try while they're sampling all the rest of the food.
This is an awesome weekend activity. I mean, really.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that go to more than one session.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's tough. I mean, you think about it, it's 50 to 60 bites per session, and then times 3. And it takes real strategery to make that kind of commitment. But usually after one session, people are ready to tap out. It's a serious intake of bacon.
Like, I'm good. I get it.
Right.
Bacon.
But hey, I think you should come to multiple sessions of Baconfest. You'll take your time.
Yeah.
Spit out the bread.
Yeah.
Don't take a second bite if it's not extremely delicious.
That's absolutely right. So how do you grow this next year? Live bands?
Live bands. Once my dream is that one day we'll be in a giant space, and 1/3 of the space will be chefs, 1/3 of the space will be food trucks, and then the last third of the space will be just hammocks.
Yeah.
So that it will be the Bacon and Nap Fest Chicago. So
Here's
everyone
the thing.
can take a nap after breakfast.
For as long as I can remember, once the clock strikes 2:30, I am useless from 2:30 until 4. That 90 minutes, I need a nap every day at that time. I don't get it.
Right.
But if you had hammocks up at Baconfest, yeah, I'm just gonna clock out for a little bit here.
Absolutely. Why
See you in
not?
90 minutes, and I'll be back for the bacon.
I've read a lot of articles in Harvard Business Review that a midday nap is extremely helpful to productivity.
Do you really read Harvard Business Review?
Well, you never know what you might find out.
I read Jugs only because it's the world's dirtiest tit mag.
Hey, I mean, different strokes for different folks, so they say.
All right, so Seth Zurer, the website is,
Baconfestchicago.com.
and we should thank the restaurant for
Yeah, Pearl's Southern Comfort up here in Edgewater. I think it's 5352 North Broadway.
it's like 2 blocks north of Foster.
Yeah, exactly.
Super easy to find. That was delicious.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're
You
doing.
tell these chefs, hey, here's some bacon, and you just wait and see what happens. People ask, oh, do you give them guidance? No, we leave it to them. They're the geniuses. They know what to do with the bacon.
I love it. All right, so we'll see you at Baconfest, and thank you so much for jumping in the front seat.
Oh, my God, anytime.